All right, good evening to you all. Thank you so much for joining me in this session. And this is Gurpal Singh from Gursar Education. And this video lecture is going to be regarding the barriers of communication. And this is going to be the second last day for the third subject for paper one syllabus. And that was communication. And tomorrow we shall do one topic regarding communication, and after that it shall be over. So as you all know that we have divided the days in a way that it do not burdenize you and me as well. So that's why now we have taken an initiative that on Saturday as well we shall be taking some lecture. That is the reason that paper second lectures, 3 or 4, I think these many lectures were taken on Saturday. So that's why there shall be only one lecture today evening, and rest of the lectures which had been assigned specific day, that is today, in the schedule. So these lectures have already been recorded, and these shall be sent to you after this lecture. So basically live lecture, this is going to be the first lecture. This is regarding paper one today. And after that, if this topic does not over in this specific lecture, but I believe it will be over, because this is a very simple and we have designed it in a way so that it can be completed in a very in the designed framework and time frame. So we shall be doing with all these things. I hope you have got the idea of what we are going to do. And after tomorrow, day after tomorrow, there shall be the next subject for paper one. That is going to be the reasoning. Okay, and that is going to be somewhat practical. So only these 2 days are left, and we shall never take any lecture of a paper one on a recorded version. Each and every paper of every lecture of a paper one, that shall be live only. So this is the reason why we had done this for paper second, but on Wednesday there will be live lecture for both the classes. So in case we take any lecture after this lecture, it will be informed to you in this specific lecture. So now I hope you would have got the idea what we are going to do. This is very important, I must tell you. Although that was a very easiest topic or concept regarding communication, whole of the communication was very easy. We have gone through a number of lectures from communication in live lectures. I think this is ninth lecture, 8th or 9th lecture for communication, and that was a sign. And these were very easy to go through, but I must tell you, as I have already told you number of times, that even this seems to be very easy, but still they sometimes ask the question in a way that we are not able to find from which particular section the question has been asked. So this is the reason you must go through each and everything for number of times. Okay, and you should give each subject the proportionate time. Don't give much time to your favorite subjects, and lesser time to the subjects which you do not like, because the weightage is always equal. Just going to share my screen, you would have got the idea of what is there for you. Before sharing the screen, just need your quick confirmation. Can I start now? Are you completely able to listen to me? And am I seeable to you? Can you hear my voice completely? Can I start my lecture? Just need your confirmation so that I just share my screen. All right, thank you so much. I've just got the confirmation. Now going to share what we have prepared for you in this specific lecture, and that is going to be the second last lecture for communication subject in paper one syllabus. All right, I hope you would have got the complete view of the screen, and you would be watching the topic named barriers in case of effective communication. Okay, as I always tell you that before going further, you must know, and I suppose, I assume, and I expect that you have gone through from all the previous lectures of that specific subject. This is the third subject in paper one. Okay, third subject. This is communication. We have already studied teaching aptitude. After that, we have already studied research aptitude, and that is the third one. And in this third one, we have studied a lot. Like in the beginning, I told you about communication, then its types, then its parties involved, most importantly, the process, we did about 7S, okay, 7Cs, then 4S, and these kind of things, number of things. In the I think 2 or 3 days were assigned for types of communication. Why I am giving you all these information again? I hope that you would have gone through, because all the topics are extremely interrelated, and if you have understood all those previous parts, only then you shall be able to move further. So this is the reason why I always tell you that you have to be very, very regular. Okay. All right, you would have got the idea. This is going to be the barriers of communication. First of all, I shall tell you some renowned names who have given the concept of barriers in communication, in effective communication. This is going to be the first question for which we are going to answer in this specific lecture. And the second question is going to be, what are the major types of barriers of communication in organizational context or other way? So these are basically the two questions for which we are going to find the answer in this specific lecture. So barriers just are the obstacles. Okay, so these are obstacles. Okay, so some author tell these as problems, some as barriers, some as obstacles. These are just the ways. These are just the ways by which the communication is broken. Okay, by which the communication broken, or it is terminated. It is terminated when you are not able to communicate in a way that the other party understands you. So this is called a barrier. So this is called complete termination of the communication. Barrier, complete problem or barrier of the communication. So in simple words, if I'm telling you, this is just that here is you, here is the other party. Okay, it can be anyone, and this is ultimately the receiver of the information, and you are the sender of the information. Okay, only if there are the cordial kind of channels involved, only then there can be effective communication. And if there are any kind of problems involved in the process of a communication, these ultimately creates the barriers which results into the termination of the communication. You shall not be able to give him the ideas, the message, or anything which you want to communicate. Okay, so these are important to go through, because in organizational context the effort is always made so that barriers are minimized or these are completely eliminated, so that the best and effective kind of communication can be achieved. So I think you would have got the complete picture in your mind that what are barriers about the exam is not going to ask you about the definition of these, but you must know what are barriers. So these are only the ways which create the problem in kind of effective kind of a communication, which don't let the communication to happen smoothly. Okay, so these are those ways. So now it's written here. Okay, although this is the extreme kind of a theory, then this is not my part or my structure of a study, but I think 1 or 2 slides should be there so that you get the ideas theoretically as well. So better communication in our organizational relationship is possible only when we recognize these differences and become flexible in accepting and understanding the other person's view. So it can be effective only if we can accept and understand the other points of views. Okay. And if this is not the case, if we cannot understand or accept his point of view, there will be communication barrier. Okay, so that will be communication barrier if we are not understanding the other person's point of view. So communication barriers are the results of several inadequacies or problems that tends to distorts completely means finish These tends to distort the communication and affect the success of managers in achieving organizational goals. So whatever the study of a communication we are doing right now, we are doing all in context of an organization. So they just tells that communication barriers are just the result of inadequacies, some problems or inadequacies that tends to distort. Distort simply means finish or break up. So these break up the complete communication, and ultimately these do not let the managers in achieving their organizational goals. So it was all about the communication. So there have been, I told you before the start of this lecture that I shall tell you name of some renowned authors or authorities which have given some definition or some uh, basic types of barriers in way of effective communication. I'm just going to give their names, and I'm going to tell you which classification they have made for the barriers of the communication. So there have been a man, Theo Heyman. He has classified the main barriers to communication into 4 groups. They have made 4 groups for that. Okay. So they have given the barriers on the basis of organizational structure, then barriers caused by status or position, barriers caused by language, and barriers resulting from general inclination to resist change. Okay, very easy. All are very easy to go through, and I assume that you have the basic. If you have the basic knowledge of these terms, then you can just um, link these up with the communication, and then you can understand these. Okay. So barrier caused by organizational structure we have studied in management, like line organization, line and staff organization. Then we studied about functional organization. So organization of the structure, like in the at the upper stage there is a CEO, at the middle level there are managers, and lower level there are workers. Okay, sometimes the organizational structure is very rigid, and if this is rigid, it creates the problem or the barriers in the way of a communication. So these are known as barrier caused by organizational structure. Then barrier caused by status or position. Sometimes the CEO is very arrogant or the manager is very arrogant, but he is holding the position of manager. Or sometimes you would have seen that if you had been an assistant professor or a teacher in any college or school, the behavior of a principal is not that much cordial with the teacher, so that you are not able to expressly communicate him with any kind of things which you wish. Okay, so this is called the barrier caused by status or position. Then barrier caused by language. Sometimes you are not able to understand the language of a sender or receiver. That is also a barrier of communication. Then barrier resulting from general inclination to resist to change. Sometimes you don't wish to listen to others simply. Sometimes there is a sender, you are a receiver, but you are not interested in listening him. Rather, you wish to resist a change. You need a change. You don't like that sender. That also creates the barrier in the communication. And that theory was given by Theo Heyman. I hope you would have got that what classification Theo Heyman has made for the barriers of the communication. Now we move further to the next man, and this is McFarland. McFarland has also given 4 groups for the barriers of the communication. Okay, so these are again for organizational context. What he has said, we are supposed to go through, and I must tell you, whoever has given any kind of a theory regarding the barriers of communication, these are very similar to each other, very similar or almost similar to each other. So we see what is there as given by McFarland. He has given the first barrier of the communication as unsound objectives. If your objectives are not clear, then these creates problems in communication. Okay, then you shall not be able to communicate to your employees well, because they shall not able to understand what goals you wish to achieve. And once you are not expressly able to tell what goals are there for the organization, then you cannot communicate in the best way with your employees. Then organizational blocks, these are very simple to what we have gone through by Theo Heyman, that was barrier caused by organizational structure. Okay, so organizational blocks are also known as organizational structure. When a structure is in a way that you cannot communicate well, this is also a kind of a barrier. I have given you the example of line organization, the line staff, functional matrix, or number of organizations structure is there, which are considered to be organizational block as per the theory given by McFarland. Then there are semantic blocks. Okay, semantic barriers are there, like when you are not expressly able to tell what you wish to tell to your receiver. Okay, these are kind of semantic block, which are also known as expressions. When you are not able to express smoothly, this is also a kind of barrier. Okay, when manager's communication skill is not that much efficient that he cannot communicate with the employee, these are semantic blocks. Then human relation problem, again, when your supervisor superior is arrogant, then you are not able to talk to him cordially. This is kind of a human relation problem in a context of the organization. When this kind of a problem arises, it ultimately leads to the barrier problem or a tragedy in the way of the proper communication. So as given by Thurman, there were 4 barriers given by McFarland. Okay, so they 2 personalities have given 4 different classifications for barriers of communication, and the next one is only Ricky W. Griffin. Okay, so they have classified the communication barriers into 2 groups only. Okay, only 2 groups are there as per their theory. These are individual barriers and organizational barriers. Okay, they have classified the theory of the theory of communication barriers into 2 parts. The first barriers are the barriers caused by organization, and then there are barriers caused by the humans or the workers working in the organization, known as individuals. Okay, so they are the sender of the information and they are the receiver of the information as per the theory given by Ricky W. Griffin. So they just tells that sometimes, so in their context, you can further diversify organizational barriers in number of ways. Like organization structure can be there, nature of a superior or supervisor can be there. Okay, then number of layers of organization can be there, number of system can be there, departmentation can be there, authority responsibility can be there. Okay, so all these can be the possible reasons for the organizational barrier as per the theory given by Ricky W. Griffin. And as far as individual is concerned, there can further be bifurcation or diversion of number of reasons for the barriers of the communication. Like he can have listening problem, he can have understanding problem, an individual can have domestic problems as well. Okay, so an individual can have low morale as well. So all these things can make up in total the individual barriers for the communication. Okay, so they have just classified the organizational barriers into 2 parts. The first are organizational barrier and the second ones are individual barriers. So I hope you would have got the complete idea. This lecture is not going to be that much large. Only one topic is left and I have already given you information regarding that. In the starting of this lecture, I told you that we shall be answering 2 questions in this specific lecture. And the first question is going to be, what is the meaning of communication barrier and who have defined communication barrier? I have given you information regarding communication barrier as those inadequacies which distort or completely devastate the communication, which ultimately tries to terminate the communication, which does not lead to any meaningful conclusion. And the next, I have given you information regarding three men who have given a research, a wide and in-depth research for the topic of barriers of communication, and they have given their with the way or level of their own understanding different classifications for barriers of communication. The first was Theo Heyman, the second was McFarland, and last one was Ricky W. Griffin. Now the only question is left with us. What are the, now as I have already explained you all the types of barriers of communication as is suggested by these persons, but separately we have to study these barriers, okay, from different point of view once again, so that we get the complete idea of what these can be, okay. So now again in detail, in somewhat detail, I am going to explain on the basis of different classifications the different kind of barriers to communication, okay. So for convenience of a discussion, not taking any specific author's theory, for just convenience of discussion, we can classify barriers of communication into four categories. First are organizational barriers, then there are individual barriers, then semantic barriers, then other barriers. And we have diversified these barriers into different slides so that understanding these becomes very easy for you. So now we move further one by one to individual kind of a barrier. So the first one is organizational barrier. So this is organizational barrier, those barrier which emanates from the organization, okay. So organization, so these the following can be some of the major types of organizational barriers which ultimately leads to the termination or the problem in the communication. So what can these reasons be? Let us see. So the first can be negative organizational climate, when there is none kind of motivation, when there is no motivation at all in the organization. The superiors or the higher authorities are not motivating the employees, and they are just thinking the workers as similar as machine tools. So in that kind of a structure, there shall be the extreme kind of a barrier to the communication. So that is the first kind of a barrier of communication in an organizational structure. Then in the second, there is absence of communication policy. So if there is any kind of absence of communication policy, there will be a lot of barriers. What happens in case of absence of a communication barrier? I just tell you. Suppose there are four supervisors, okay, supervisor A, then B, then C, then D. Okay, there are number of workers. So we just take example of only one worker, and this is worker E, okay. Worker E has as his immediate superior only A, but they people are also feeling their authority to say anything to worker E. So if they are also just ordering different kind of works to worker E, there will be the complete kind of barrier to the communication. This structure is known as absence of the complete communication policy. If there is no communication policy in the organization, there will be the barrier in the way of communication. Then excessive authority layers. If there are number of authority layers, okay, like here is worker. Worker is having at his head the foreman. Okay, the foreman is having at his head the superior. Okay, superior is having at his head the manager. Okay, the manager is having at his head the senior manager. Okay, so there are number of layers, excessive authority layers. Okay, sometimes he has to interact with the worker. Okay, sometimes he has to interact with the, sometimes, but he wishes to tell the only authority which is going to affect by his communication is worker, but he has to tell to the manager first, manager has to tell to the superior first, then superior has to tell to the foreman first, and the foreman has to tell to workers first. So there are number of layers in the way of communication, and when there are number of layers involved, then the actual meaning of the message of the communication shall completely distort. And if this is distorted, there will be no meaning in the message. So this is why it is said that excessive authority layers are um, also the barriers for the way in the way of communication. The last one is filtering. When you have received a message, but you are trying to understanding in a way that you like for yourself only. Okay, you are not understanding in the context of organization, but you are okay. So your superior has told you 10 things. Okay, so you are just focusing on two or three things which you like, and you are just ignoring the others. So that kind of thing, there can be number of reasons for filtering. Okay, sometimes you are disinterested, sometimes you are not able to understand, sometimes you are not in a position to understand, sometimes you are thinking something else, you are not able to comprehend whatever has been said to you. These can be the major and possible reasons why filtering is there, and this is also the barrier in the organizational context in the way of communication. So I hope you would have got the idea of what organizational barriers are. And now we have to move further to the next one. These are individual barriers. Individual barriers are just the barriers which are related with the individual workers. Okay, they relates to individual worker. You are a worker. Just take yourself at the position of a worker, or suppose there is a college or a school. Okay, you are a worker of that college. You can be at any position. You are simply a lecturer. Okay, you are a lecturer or you are a school teacher. Now think from this point of view as individual barriers. What can these be? The first can be differences in personality. The sender who is giving you the information, maybe he is a principal or he is a higher authority, then you are having extreme kind of a personality differences, then there shall be lack of communication. Then perceptual differences is there. The sender is saying you something from his point of view, from his point of view, but you are understanding from your point of view, whatever you are perceiving regarding that specific thing. Regarding perception, we have given a detailed lecture. I hope you would have gone through. Okay, so if you have gone through, understanding this is not going to be difficult for you. The third is fear. When you fear of being wrong, when you fear of being wrong, then you shall not listen properly to what is being said to you. Then stereotyping, you have already made some kind of thinking or perception in your mind regarding specific person who is a sender. Okay, you have already made some kind of idea, like he's a dull, he is not good, okay, or he is very good. That can also be the possibility. Okay, you have already made some kind of idea that he is not going to tell the right thing to us. There will be the kind of barrier that you shall not listen to him carefully. Then halo effect, just on the basis of few traits, on the basis of few traits, you are just making perception regarding someone. You don't like your principal, you don't like principal of your college. Okay, just on the basis of a few traits, you think him that he belongs to a certain group, to the group of people who are not good. So this is the reason that he is also not good. And if you feel this regarding him, then you shall not listen to him carefully. Then the final is inattention or unattention. He is lecturing you for half an hour and you are just completely absent. You listen for just 5 minutes, first 5 minutes, and after that you just lost somewhere and you are not listening to him anymore. This is also a kind of individual barrier. Now we move further, and this is the language or semantic barrier. So these are the other barriers for these are language barriers. When you are not able to understand the second person's accent or his language or his semantics, like symbols, words he's using. Okay, like there can be an example which can state we sell for less. It doesn't mean anything. What are you selling? How much less are you giving? It's not communicating a good idea. This is a language or semantic barrier. When you use the kind of expression, symbols, or anything which are not proper to be used, these are kind of language or semantic barrier in context of organization. And these are the last one. Okay, so what are these? These are other barriers. First is if there is information overload. Okay, it's a complete possibility. Sometimes we can attend more than 5, 6, or 7 lectures as well, and that is a kind of information overload. And I certainly believe that if I'm taking lecture for more than 3 hours a day, even for 2 hours a day, number of you will not be able to completely understand each and everything being taught by me. This is called information overload. When information is overloaded, you are not able to understand everything. Faulty expression, when your expression doesn't match with what you wish to say, this is called faulty expression. Like you are using the kind of body language which is not matching with the words coming out from your mouth. This is called a faulty expression. Then status or power differences, I have already explained number of times. Okay, when the other person is powerful, you shall not dare to ask any question for second time. Okay, you shall not dare that. This is I am 100% sure it would have happened to you a number of times. You would have experienced it, even if not in school, then in college, and if not in college, then at your job place. Then a negative attitudes to change. When you have negative kind of attitude, or the sender who is giving you information, he's having the negative kind of attitude, there will be none kind of barrier. And finally, there is noise. Sometime you would have experienced that while delivering the lecture, I feel that I am getting troubled by noise of some of the cell phones of some students. So that is also a kind of barrier. I am not able to teach properly, you are not able to listen properly. So I think you would have got the complete idea. I have just explained all these things in detail. The barriers of the communication in 4 categories: the organizational barriers, individual, semantic, and other barriers. And that was all in there. Just going to give you a brief description. Then we shall be finishing this, and this is the information that you would have experienced, that sometime there are large number of lectures. The only reason I am again telling you, okay, because the only thing is that we care for your study, because the success is not yours only. That's why I just stress you, don't feel that there are still 5 months. There are not 5 months, there are not even 5 days. Tomorrow is your exam. If you have that kind of feeling, only then you shall be able to qualify the examination. And I hope and I believe and I expect from you, being the best of my student, that you are spending at least 5 to 6 hours a day going through all the subject related matters. And if you are feeling that we have time and we shall manage it, and I must tell you, you are not going to qualify the exam. You don't have time, you have only today, and that's final. Okay, so if you are not able to manage your today means right now. Do not procrastinate. Everyone who has ever procrastinated for any kind of thing, he has not succeeded anything in his life. So just get away with procrastination, and just feel that tomorrow is your examination. Sometime we deliver number of lectures in a day. If we are doing, sometime I have to record in the night as well, sometime early morning as well, and that kind of situation is there with us. If we are doing that kind of extreme hard work for you, we expect something in return, and that return is that you also spend that much time for going through from all the things. Only then you can expect to qualify. It's just the beginning of August, but tomorrow is your examination, that's for sure. So this is Gurpal Singh from Gursur Education. I hope you would have got all the ideas of what we have gone through. The next lecture are 2 lectures for paper second, and the recorded version shall be sent to you as soon as possible. Regard that tomorrow shall be the last lecture for paper 1, subject communication, and day after tomorrow we shall be starting the next subject. Tomorrow shall also be only 1 lecture for paper 1, and for paper 2, as it is, we have already taken the lecture on Saturday, and these will be delivered to you in the recorded version tomorrow. All right. Thank you so much. This is Gurpal Singh from Gursul Education.